good, family? All right. This is Black is Gold, episode 23, Whitney Houston. All right, man. What's good, family? Glad that y'all up in here. You know what I mean? Glad that y'all watching. You know what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah. You know what I mean? Somebody checked it super early. Shout out to Truth, man. You know what I mean? Say he's here for it. Blood in. Definitely. Salute to you, Truth. Blood in, bro. You know what it is. Listen, let me get into it, all right? This is episode 23, Black is Gold, Whitney Houston, all right? So, Whitney Houston, born August 9th, 1963, transcended February 11, 2012, was an American singer and actress, nicknamed The Voice. She's one of the best-selling music artists of all time, with over 200 million records sold worldwide. In 2023, Rolling Stone ranks her second on their list of the greatest singers of all time. I don't know why they ranked her second, because to me, she's number one. But anyway, Houston influenced many singers in popular music. Was known for her powerful, soulful vocals and vocal improvisation skills. All right, let's keep it going. She's the only artist to have 7 consecutive number one singles at the Billboard Hot 100. Man. Hold on. I'm about to say what up to my homie. Give me 1 second. Hold on, homie. Hold on. It's on my laptop. Nah, man, I got to get a new laptop pretty soon, y'all. Shout out to M3. What up? You know what I mean? Let me keep it going. Okay, from Saving All My Love for You in 1985 to Where Do Broken Hearts Go in 1988. Houston also enhanced her popularity upon entering the movie industry. Throughout her career and posthumously, she has received numerous accolades, including 2 Emmy Awards, 6 Grammy Awards, 16 Billboard Music Awards, and 28 Guinness World Records. Houston has also been inducted into the Grammy, Rhythm and Blues Music, and Rock and Roll Halls of Fame. Wow. Let's get it going, y'all. Let's keep it moving. Houston began singing in church as a child and became a background vocalist while in high school. She was one of the first Black women to appear on the cover of 17 after becoming a teen model in 1981. With the guidance of Arista Records chairman Clive Davis, you know what I mean? Look, if you don't know what Arista Records is, if you don't know who Clive Davis is, yeah. Houston signed to the label at age 19. Her first 2 studio albums, Whitney Houston, Salute to Wally. What's good? Salute to you, brother. Good to see you up in here. Thank you for coming in, man. Thank you for supporting. I appreciate you. Definitely so like and subscribe to Wolf Talk Production. Also, like and subscribe to the JVJ Network. I see you doing work over there too. Salute to JVJ. You know what I mean? All them brothers over there. All right, let's get it. Both peaked at number 1 of the Billboard 200 and are among the best-selling albums of all time. Houston's third studio album, I'm Your Baby Tonight, which came out in 1990, yielded 2 Billboard Hot 100 number 1 singles, I'm Your Baby Tonight and All the Man That I Need. Houston made her acting debut with a romantic thriller film, The Bodyguard, which came out in 1992, which became the 10th highest grossing film to that date, despite receiving poor reviews for screenplay and lead performances. She recorded 6 songs from the film soundtrack, including I Will Always Love You, which won a Grammy Award for the Record of the Year, and became the best-selling physical single by a woman in music history. Wow. The soundtrack for The Bodyguard won a Grammy Award for Album of the Year and remains the best-selling soundtrack album of all time. Houston went on to star and record soundtracks for Waiting to Exhale and The Preacher's Wife. Houston produced, now Waiting to Exhale came out in 95, Preacher's Wife came out in 96, all right? Houston produced the latter soundtrack, which became the best-selling gospel of all time. As a film producer, she produced multicultural movies, including Cinderella, which came out in 1997. I think they had Brandy in it, but I'm not really sure. And the series included The Princess Diaries and The Cheetah Girls. Definitely support JVJ Network, y'all, all right? You know what I mean? They go to link for it. Support them brothers over there. Him, Marcus, JVJ, and all the great people over there. They got a lot of people on that team, man. Support the JVJ Network. Shout out to JVJ and the rest of the team. I haven't linked up with that brother yet. You know what I mean? Wally, definitely tell him I send my love, I send my support, and I'll definitely be over there to check him out more when I get some more time. You feel me? Now, Houston's first studio album in 8 years, My Love Is Your Love, which came out in 1998. So millions and spawned several hit singles, including Heartbreak Hotel, It's Not Right, But It's Okay, and My Love Is Your Love. Following success, she renewed her contract with Arista for $100 million, one of the biggest recording deals of all time. However, her personal problems began to overshadow her career. In 2002, studio album Just Whitney received mixed reviews. Her drug use and a tumultuous marriage to singer Bobby Brown received widespread media coverage. After a 6-year breakup from recording, Houston returned to the top of the Billboard 200 charts with her final studio album, I Look to You, which came out in 2009. Definitely support, Naja Relationship Team. Y'all know what it is, man. Thank you, Wally. Appreciate you. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, man. Much love. Excuse me, y'all. Sorry about that. On February 11th, 2012, Houston accidentally drowned in a bathtub at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Beverly Hills, with heart disease and cocaine use as contributing factors. News of her transcendence coincided with the 2012 Grammy Awards, which took place the day following her death, her transcendence, and was covered internationally. You know what I mean? And through Shauna Wally, all right. An official biopic movie of Houston titled I Want to Dance with Somebody was released in theaters on December 23rd, 2022. All right, let's get to her career and her life, all right? We're going to get through the whole thing. I got a lot to cover. Whitney Elizabeth Houston was born on August 9th, 1963 in Newark, New Jersey. Shout out to Jersey. Her mother, Emily Sissy Houston, nicknamed Drinkard, was a gospel. I think that's her surname or whatever it is. Was a gospel singer. Was part of the Drinkard singers. Oh, that's her regular last name before she got married. I got you. Okay, and who later joined the Gospelers, a popular session vocal group whose name eventually changed to the Sweet Inspirations. Sissy recorded several albums with the group on their own, in addition to singing background for musicians such as Aretha Franklin, Jimi Hendrix, and Elvis Presley. You know those people are. I can't help you, all right? And her Grammy Award nomination for the song "Sweet Inspiration." Her father, John Russell Houston Jr., was an ex-Army serviceman. Okay. Okay. I'm starting to catch up of all the different nicknames and the names and all that. All right. Was an ex-Army serviceman, a Newark City administrator who worked for then Newark Mayor Kenneth A. Gibson and a manager of the Sweet Inspiration. You know, Kenneth A. Gibson is do your research. Her older brother, Michael, was a songwriter, and her elder maternal half-brother is former basketball player and singer Gary Garland. I heard of Gary Garland. I heard he was nice. She also had her elder paternal half-brother, John III. Both of Houston's parents were African-American. On the mother's side, it's alleged that Houston had Dutch and Native American ancestry. Through her mother, Houston was the first cousin of singers Dionne and Dee Dee Warwick, as well as distant cousin of opera singer LaDawn Price. Okay, if you don't know who these people are, especially the Warwicks, I can't help you on that one, okay? If you don't know who the Warwicks are, I can't help you. And LaDawn Price, you may have to do your research on that one, because I don't really know that one either. To her father, she's a great-granddaughter of Jeremiah Burke Sanderson, an American abolitionist advocate for the civil and educational rights of Black Americans. If you don't know who Jeremiah Burke Sanderson is, do your research. Her godmother was singer Darlene Love, do your research on her too. And Franklin was considered as an honorary aunt. Devastated by the events of the 1967 Newark riots, Whitney's family eventually relocated to a middle-class area in East Orange, New Jersey. Her parents later divorced. Houston was raised a Baptist, but admitted to being exposed to the Pentecostal church as well. Houston began singing in the church choir at the New Hope Baptist Church in Newark at age 5, where she also learned to play the piano. By age 11, she began performing as a soloist for the junior gospel choir, performing the hymn, "Guide Me, O Thou Great Jehovah." Houston would be taught how to sing throughout her adolescence by her mother, Sissy. After attending Franklin Elementary School, now the Whitney E. Houston Academy of Creative Performing Arts, Houston was transferred to an all-girls Catholic school, Mount St. Dominic Academy at nearby Caldwell, in her 6th grade year, which she eventually graduated from in 1981 at 17. On February 8th, 1978, a 14-year-old Houston made her non-church performance debut at Manhattan's Town Hall singing a Broadway standard, "Tomorrow," from the musical Annie. If you don't know about the song "Tomorrow" or the musical Annie, I can't help you. Receiving her first standing ovation. Later that year, Houston sang background on Mother Sissy's solo album, "Think It Over," with a title track later reaching the top 5 of the Billboard disco chart. The album producer Michael Zager recorded her lead vocals on his disco song "Life's a Party" with the album of the same name, released later in 1978. Throughout her childhood and early career, Houston was influenced by her mother, cousins Dionne and Dee Dee, and singers such as Aretha Franklin, Chaka Khan, Gladys Knight, and Roberta Flack. If you don't know who Chaka Khan is, Gladys Knight, and Roberta Flack is, can't help you. Or Aretha Franklin, I really can't help you there. During this period, Houston sang background for her mother on the cabaret club circuit in New York City. Houston contributed backing vocals for Khan and Lou Rawls. You don't know who Lou Rawls is, I can't help you. On their respective album, Naughty and Shades of Blue. In the same year, Houston met Robin Crawford while both worked as counselors at a youth summer camp in East Orange. Okay, Robin Crawford, do your research on that one. The two became fast friends, and Houston later described Crawford as a sister she never had. Along with them being best friends, Crawford would become a roommate and executive assistant. Following Houston's rise to fame, rumors began spreading that Houston and Crawford were lovers, which the two denied to the press during a 1987 interview for Time magazine. In 2019, 7 years after Houston's death, court forbid that their early relationship included sexual activity, but stopped before Houston signed a recording deal. Wow. Okay. Let's keep it going. Houston became a fashion model as she was discovered by a photographer who filmed her and her mother doing performance for the United Negro College Fund at Carnegie Hall. She became one of the first women of color to appear on the cover of a fashion magazine when she appeared on the cover of 17. She will also appear inside other magazines such as Glamour, Cosmopolitan, and Young Miss, and a TV commercial for the Canada Dry soft drink. Her looks and girl next door charm made her one of the most sought after teen models. Houston was offered record deals around this time. First by Michael Zager in 1979, Luther Vandross in 1980, and Bruce Longville in 1981. If you don't know who these people are, do your research on some of them, all right? The offers, however, were turned down by her mother because Cissy wanted Houston to finish school. Around the same time, Houston recorded Paul Jabari's Eternal Love, which was shelved for nearly 2 years before it was placed on Jabari's 1983 album, Paul Jabari and Friends, released in January. Houston recording the song at just 16 years old. The Quiet Storm R&B ballad was later covered by fellow singer Stephanie Mills. In February 1982, Houston signed with Terra Productions and hired Gene Harvey as her manager, with Daniel Gittleman and Samuel Flicks as co-managers. If you don't know who Stephanie Mills is, I can't help you on that one either. All right. With them, Houston furthered her recording career by working with producers Michael Mignor, Bill Laswell, and Martin Bissey on albums they were spearheaded called One Down, which was created to the group Material. For that project, she contributed the ballad Memoirs, a cover song by Hugh Hopper of Soft Machine. Robert Christgau of The Village Voice called her contribution of one of the most gorgeous ballads you've ever heard. Man, there's a lot of name drops in here, man. Hey, look, do your research on these people, all right? That's all I'm going to say. If you don't know who any of these people are, do your research, all right? I'm not going to stop no more. I'm just going to keep reading this. In February 1980, Gary Griffith, an A&R representative from Arista Records, saw Houston perform with her mother at the Sweetwater's nightclub in Manhattan. He convinced Arista head Clive Davis to make time to see her perform. Davis was impressed and immediately offered a worldwide record deal, which Houston eventually signed on April 10th, 1983. Since she was only 19, her parents also signed for her. 2 weeks later, Houston made her national television debut alongside Davis on The Merv Griffin Show, which later aired that June. She performed Home, a song from the musical The Wiz. Houston did not begin work on the album immediately. The label wanted to make sure no other label signed her way, and Davis wanted to ensure he had the right material and producers for a debut album. Some producers passed on the project because of prior commitments. Houston first recorded a duet with Teddy Pendergrass, Hold Me, that's my jam, which appeared on his gold album, Love Language. The single was released in 1984 and gave Houston her first taste of success, becoming a top 5 R&B hit. It will also appear on her debut album in 1985. Okay, let's continue to get into her career. With production from Michael Massar, Kashif, Jermaine Jackson, and Narada Michael Weldon, Houston's debut album, Whitney Houston, was released on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 1985. Rolling Stone magazine praised Houston, calling her one of the most exciting new voices in years, while the New York Times called the album an impressive musically conservative showcase for an exceptionally vocal talent. Arista Records promoted Houston's album with 3 different singles from the album in the United States, the United Kingdom, and other European countries. In the UK, the dance funk song "Someone for Me," which fell the chart, was the first single, while All at Once was in such European countries as the Netherlands and Belgium, where the song reached the top 5 on the singles charts, respectively. In the US, the soulful ballad "You Get Good Love" was chosen as the lead single from Houston's debut to establish her in the black marketplace. Outside the US, the song failed to get enough attention to become a hit. But in the US, it gave the album its first major hit as it peaked at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart and number 1 on the Hot Black Singles chart. As a result, the album began to sell strongly, and Houston continued promotion by touring nightclubs in the U.S. She also began performing on late-night television talk shows, which were not usually accessible to non-established black acts. The jazzy ballad "Saving All My Love for You" was released next, and it would become Houston's first number 1 single in both the U.S. and the U.K. By then, she was an opening act for singer Jeffrey Osborne on his nationwide tour. The funk-oriented "Thinking About You" was released as a promo single only to R&B-oriented radio stations and dance clubs all over the country, resulting in the song reaching number 10 on the Hot Black Singles chart and number 24 on the Hot Dance Club play charts in December 1985. Houston's success also translated to television, where in addition to performing on several late-night talk shows, a Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, Late Night with David Letterman, Houston also became a video star thanks to early videos for You Give Good Love, and Saving All My Love for You, being heavily played on BET and VH1 stations. During this period, Houston and Erickson struggled to get their videos submitted to MTV. At the time, MTV had received harsh criticism for not playing enough videos for blacks. Videos by blacks, Latino, and other racial minorities while favoring white acts. In an interview with MTV years later, Houston explained the difficulty she and Erickson faced on trying to bring You Give Good Love on the channel, but was rebuffed because it was too R&B for their playlist. Wow. Eventually, Houston's video for Saving All My Love was featured in light rotation after the song had become a huge pop hit. But Houston State and the channel had no choice but to play the video. I love it when they have no choice. By the time Houston's third U.S. single, How Will I Know, was released, the colorful video clip, directed by Brian Grant, was immediately added to MTV's playlist, instantly gaining heavy rotation on the channel after just a couple of weeks of introducing Houston to the MTV audience. The song itself became Houston's second consecutive #1 pop hit on the Billboard Hot 100, where it stayed for 2 weeks, also topping the Hot Black and Hot AAC charts and peaking at #3 on the dance charts. Following the successful airing of How Will I Know on MTV, Houston became a regular presence on the channel as it slowly began changing its programming from rock to a more pop, R&B, dance hybrids playlist, along with artists such as Madonna and Janet Jackson. On the week of March 8, 1986, a year after its initial release, Whitney Houston topped the Billboard 200 album charts and stayed there for 14 non-consecutive weeks. The first single, Greatest Love of All, a cover of the Greatest Love of All originally recorded by George Benson in 1977, became Houston's biggest hit yet. The single peaked at #1 and remained there for weeks, making Houston debut the first album by a woman to yield 3 #1 hits. Houston ended 1986 as the top artist of the year, while her debut album topped the Billboard year-end charts, making her the first American woman to earn that distinction. At the time, the album was the best-selling debut album by a solo artist. The album would later be certified 14 times platinum for sales of 14 million units alone in the United States, while selling over 22 million copies worldwide. In July 1986, Houston launched her first world tour, the Greatest Love World Tour, where she performed mainly in North America, Europe, Australia, and Japan. The tour lasted until December, ending in Hawaii. At the 1986 Grammy Awards, Houston was nominated for 3 awards, including Album of the Year. She was not eligible for the Best New Artist category because of a previous hit R&B duet recorded with Teddy Pendergrass in 1984. She won her first Grammy Award for Best Female Pop Vocal Performance for Saving All My Love for You. Houston's performance of the song during the Grammy telecast later earned her an Emmy Award for Outstanding Individual Performance in a variety of music programs. Houston won 7 American Music Awards in total in 1986 and 1987 and the MTV Video Music Award. The album's popularity will also carry over to the 1987 Grammy Awards, where Greatest Love of All received a Record of the Year nomination. Houston's debut album is listed as one of Rolling Stone's 500 greatest albums of all time and on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Definitive 200 list. Houston's great interest into the music industry is considered one of the 25 musical milestones of the last 25 years, according to USA Today. Following Houston's success, doors were open for other African-American women such as Janet Jackson and Anita Baker. Okay, let's continue, y'all. Houston's second album, Whitney, was released in June 1987. The album began featuring production from Nasir, Kashif, and Walden, as well as Jelly Bean Benitez. Many critics complained that the material was too similar to a previous album. Rolling Stone said the narrow channel through which this talent has been directed is frustrating. Still, the album enjoyed commercial success. Houston became the first woman in music history to debut at #1 on the Billboard 200 album charts, and the first artist to enter the album charts at #1 in both the U.S. and U.K., while also hitting #1 on top 10 in dozens of other countries around the world. The album's first single, I Want to Dance with Somebody Who Loves Me, was also a massive hit worldwide, peaking at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and topping the singles charts in 17 countries, including Australia, Germany, and the UK. Her next 3 singles, Didn't We Almost Have It All, So Emotional, and Where Do Broken Hearts Go, all peaked at #1 on the US pop chart, giving Houston a record total of 7 consecutive #1 hits. The previous record of 6 consecutive #1 hits has been shared by the Beatles and the Bee Gees. Houston became the first woman to generate 4 #1 singles for one album. Whitney has been certified diamond in the U.S. for shipments for over 10 million copies and has sold a total of 20 million copies worldwide. At the 30th Grammy Awards in 1988, Houston was nominated for 3 awards, including Album of the Year. She won her second Grammy for Best Female Pop Vocal Performance for I Want to Dance with Somebody Who Loves Me. Houston also won 2 American Music Awards in 1988 and 89, respectively, and a Soul Train Music Award. Following the release of the album, Houston embarked on a Moment of Truth World Tour, which was one of the 10 highest grossing concert tours of 1987, and the highest grossing tour by female artists, topping tours by Madonna and Tina Turner. Man. The success of the tours during 1986 and 87 and the 2 studio albums ranked Houston number 8 for the highest earning entertainers list according to Forbes. She was the highest earning African American woman overall, highest earning musician, and the 3rd highest entertainer after Bill Cosby and Eddie Murphy. Man. Houston was a supporter of Nelson Mandela and the anti-apartheid movement. During her modeling days, she refused to work with agencies who did business within apartheid South Africa. On June 11, 1988, during the European leg of her tour, Houston joined other musicians to perform a set at Wembley Stadium in London to celebrate as then in prison Nelson Mandela's 70th birthday. Over 72,000 people attended Wembley Stadium, and over 1 billion people turned worldwide as the rock concert raised over $1 million for charities while bringing awareness to apartheid. Houston then flew back to the U.S. for a concert at Madison Square Garden in New York City in August. The show was a benefit concert that raised $250,000 for the United Negro College Fund. In the same year, she recorded a song for the NBC's coverage of the 1988 Summer Olympics, One Moment in Time, which became a top 5 hit in the U.S. by reaching number 1 in the UK and Germany. With her world tour continuing overseas, Houston was still one of the top 20 highest earning entertainers from 1987 through 88, according to Forbes. In 1989, Houston formed the Whitney Houston Foundation for Children, a nonprofit organization that raised funds for the needs of children around the world. The organization cares for homelessness, children with cancer or AIDS, and other issues of self-empowerment. With the success of her 2 albums, Houston became an international crossover superstar, appealing to all demographics. However, some Black critics believe she was selling out. They felt her singing on a record lacked the soul that was present during her live concerts. At the 1989 Soul Train Music Awards, when Houston's name was called out for nomination, a few in the audience jeered. Houston defended herself against criticism, stating, "If you're going to have a long career, there's a certain way to do it, and I did it that way. I'm not ashamed of it." Houston took a more urban direction with her 3rd studio album, I'm Your Baby Tonight, released in November 1990. She produced and chose producers for this album, and as a result, it featured production and collaborations with L.A. Reid and Babyface, Luther Vandross, and Stevie Wonder. The album showed Houston versatility on a new batch of tough rhythmic grooves, soulful ballads, and up-tempo dance tracks. Reviews were mixed. Rolling Stone felt it was her best and most integrated album, while Entertainment Weekly at the time thought Houston's shift towards an urban direction was superficial. I'm Your Baby Tonight contains several hits. The first 2 singles, I'm Your Baby Tonight and All the Man I Need, peaked at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. Miracle peaked at number 9. My Name Is Not Susan peaked in the top 20. I Belong to You reached the top 10 in the U.S. R&B chart and generated Houston a Grammy nomination. And the 6th single, the Stevie Wonder duet, We Didn't Know, reached the R&B top 20. A bonus track from the album's Japanese edition, Higher Love, was remixed by Norwegian DJ and record producer Keigo and released posthumously in 2019 to commercial success. It topped the U.S. Dance Club song charts and peaked at number 2 in the U.K., becoming Houston's highest charting single in the country since 1999. I'm Your Baby Tonight peaked at number 3 on the Billboard 200 and went on to be certified 4-time spot in the U.S. while selling 10 million total worldwide. During the Persian Gulf War on January 27, 1991, Houston performed the Star Spangled Banner, the U.S. national anthem at Super Bowl at Tampa Stadium. Houston's vocals were pre-recorded, prompting criticism. Dan Clovis, a spokesman for Houston, said, "This is not a Milli Vanilli thing. She sang live, but the microphone was turned off. It was a technical decision, partially based on the noise factor. This is standard procedure at these events. Nevertheless, the commercial, single, and voice of the performance reached the top 20 on the US Hot 100, giving Houston the biggest chart hit for performance of the national anthem. Jose Feliciano's version reached number 50 in November 1968. Houston donated her share of the proceeds to the American Red Cross War Crisis Fund and was named to the Red Cross Board of Governors. Her rendition was quickly acclaimed and is considered the benchmark for singers. Readers once listed the performance as one of the greatest performances at Rock TV. Following the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks, the singles were released with all profits towards the firefighters and victims of the attacks. It peaked at number 6 in the Hot 100 and was certified platinum. Later in 1991, Houston put together her Welcome Home Heroes concert with HBO for the soldiers fighting in prison in the Persian Gulf War and their families. The Norfolk, Virginia front of 3,500 servicemen and women. HBO described the concert so that it was free for everyone to watch. The show gave HBO its highest ratings ever. All right, let's continue to get into her career and everything else. Throughout the 1980s, Houston was romantically linked to musician Jermaine Jackson, American football star Randall Cunningham, and actor Eddie Murphy. She then met R&B singer Bobby Brown at the 1989 Soul Train Music Awards. After a 3-year courtship, the two were married on July 18, 1992. Brown will go on to have several run-ins with the law for drunken driving, drug possession, and battery, including some jail time. On March 4, 1983, Houston gave birth to their daughter, Bobby Christina Brown, who was born March 4, 1983 and transcended July 26, 2015, the couple's only child. Houston revealed in a 1983 interview with Barbara Walters that she had a miscarriage during the filming of The Bodyguard. With the massive commercial success of her music, film offers poured in, including offers to work with Robert De Niro, Quincy Jones, and Spike Lee, but Houston never felt that the time was right. Her first film role was in The Bodyguard, released in 1992. Houston played a star who was stalked by a crazed fan and hires a bodyguard played by Kevin Costner to protect her. Houston's mainstream appeal allowed audiences to look past the interracial nature of her character relationship with Costner's character. However, contrary to the arose that some felt Houston's face had been intentionally left out of the film's advertising to hide the film's interracial relationship. In a 1983 interview with the Rolling Stone, Houston remarked that people know who Whitney Houston is. I'm black. You can't hide that fact. Houston receives a Razzie Award nomination for Worst Actress. Wow. The Washington Post remarked that Houston was doing nothing more than playing herself, but added that she came out largely unscathed, if that's possible, and so cockamamie and understanding. The New York Times said that she lacked chemistry with Costner. Wow. A lot of criticism here. Despite the film's mixed reviews, it was hugely successful at the box office, grossing more than $121 million in the U.S. and $410 million worldwide, making it one of the top 100 grossing films in the history at its time of release. Though it later fell out of the top 100 because of rising ticket prices since the time the film was released, it remained in the top 40 of most successful rated R films in box office history. Despite the Razzie, however, Houston was nominated for the NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Actress in a Film, losing the award to Angela Bassett for her role as Tina Turner, and What's Love Got to Do with It. Also received several MTV Movie Awards nominations, winning Best Song from a Movie for I Was Really Love You, and was nominated for Best Breakthrough Performance. The film soundtrack also enjoyed success. Houston co-executive produced the Bodyguard original soundtrack album and recorded 6 songs for the album. Rolling Stone described it as nothing more than pleasant, tasteful, and urban. The soundtrack lead single, I Will Always Love You, written and originally recorded by Dolly Parton in 1974, Houston's version was highly acclaimed by critics, regarding it as her signature song or iconic performance. Rolling Stone and USA Today called her rendition a tour de force. The single peaked at #1 at the Billboard Hot 100 for then record-breaking 14 weeks. #1 on the R&B chart for a then record-breaking 11 weeks, and #1 on the adult contemporary chart for 5 weeks. The single was certified diamond by the RIAA, making Houston's first diamond single the third female artist who had a diamond single, and becoming the best single by a woman in the U.S. The song was a global success, topping the charts in almost all countries. With 20 million copies sold, it became the best-selling single of all time by a female solo artist. Houston won a Grammy Award for Record of the Year in 1994 for I Will Always Love You. The soundtrack topped the Billboard 200 chart and remained there for 29 consecutive weeks. The longest singing by any Arista album on the chart in the Nielsen SoundScan era. Tied for 10th overall by any label, became one of the fastest selling albums ever. During Christmas week of 1982, the soundtrack sold over 1 million copies within a week, becoming the first album to achieve that feat under Nielsen SoundScan system. With the following singles, I'm Every Woman, a Shaka Khan cover, and I Have Nothing, both reaching the top 5. Houston became the first woman to ever have 3 singles in the top 11 simultaneously. The album was certified 18 times platinum in the U.S. alone, with worldwide sales of 45 million copies. The album became the best-selling soundtrack album of all time. Houston won the 1994 Grammy Award for Album of the Year for the soundtrack, becoming only the second African-American woman to win in the category after Natalie Cole's Unforgettable with Love album. In addition, she won a record 8 American Music Awards at the year ceremony, including the Award of Merit, Billboard Music Awards, Soul Train Music Awards in 1983 and 94, including Sammy Davis Jr. Awards, Entertainer of the Year, NAACP Music Awards, including Entertainer of the Year, and a record 5 World Music Awards and a Brit Award. Okay? Following the success of The Bodyguard, Houston embarked on another expensive global tour, The Bodyguard World Tour in 1993-1994. The concerts, movie, and recording grosses made her the third highest earning female entertainer of 1983-1984, just behind Oprah Winfrey and Barbra Streisand, according to Forbes. Houston placed in top 5 Entertainment Weekly Annual Entertainer of the Year ranking, and was labeled by Premiere Magazine as one of the 100 most powerful people in Hollywood. In October 1994, Houston attended and performed at a state dinner in the White House, honoring newly elected South African President Nelson Mandela. At the end of her world tour, Houston performed 3 concerts in South Africa to honor President Mandela, playing to over 200,000 people. This made her first major musician to visit a newly unified and apartheid-free nation following Mandela's winning election. Portions of Whitney, the concert for New South Africa, were broadcast live on HBO, with funds of the concert being donated to various charities in South Africa. The event was considered the nation's biggest media event since the inauguration of Nelson Mandela. All right, let's continue to keep it going, y'all. All right? We about to get through this pretty soon. In 1995, Houston starred alongside Angela Bassett, Loretta Devine, and Lolita Rashawn in the second film, Way to Excel, a motion picture with about 4 African-American women struggling with relationships. Houston played the lead character, Savannah Jackson, a chief producer in love with a married man. She chose the role because she saw the film as a breakthrough for the image of Black women because it presents them both as professional and as caring mothers. After opening at number 1 and grossing $67 million in the U.S. at the box office, $81 million worldwide, it proves that a movie primarily targeting a Black audience can cross over to success, while paving the way for other all-Black movies such as How Stella Got Her Groove Back and Tyler Perry movies that became popular in the 2000s. The film is also notable for its portrayal of Black women as strong middle-class citizens rather than stereotypes. The reviews were mainly positive for the ensemble cast. The New York Times says Miss Houston has shared the defensive portrait that made her portrayal of a pop star bodyguard seem so distant. Houston was nominated for an NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Actress in a Motion Picture, but lost to her co-star, Bassett. The film's accompanying soundtrack, Way to Excel, original soundtrack album, was written and produced by Babyface. Though he originally wanted Houston to record an entire album, she declined. Instead, she wanted to be an album of women with vocal distinction, and thus gathered several African-American female artists for the soundtrack to go along with the film's message about strong women. Consequently, the album featured a range of contemporary R&B female recording artists, along with Houston, such as Mary J. Blige, Brandy, Toni Braxton, Aretha Franklin, and Patti LaBelle. Houston's Excel Shoop Shoop became just the 3rd single in music history to debut at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 after Michael Jackson's You Are Not Alone and Mariah Carey's Fantasy. Look, man, that Way to Excel soundtrack, classic. My favorite song in there is My Funny Valentine by Chaka Khan, but that's my favorite song. Shoop Shoop wasn't a bad song either, that's a jam too, but My Funny Valentine is my favorite song. Anyway, let me keep it going. It also would spend a record 11 weeks at the number 2 spot and 8 weeks on the top of the R&B charts, the second most successful single on the chart after I Will Always Love You. Count on Me, a duet with CeCe Winans, hit the U.S. Top 100 and Houston's 3rd contribution, Why Does It Hurt So Bad? That's my jam. Made the top 30. The album was certified 7-time platinum in the United States, bringing shipments of 7 million copies. The soundtrack received strong reviews. As Entertainment Weekly, the album goes down easy, just as you expect from a package framed by Whitney Houston tracks. The soundtrack Way to Excel hovers in sensuous suspense, and has since it ranked as one of the 100 best movie soundtracks. Later that year, Houston's Children's Charity Organization was awarded VH1 honor for all the charitable work. In 1986, Houston starred in the holiday comedy The Preacher's Wife with Denzel Washington. She plays the gospel singer wife of Pastor Courtney B. Vance. It was largely an updated remake of the 1984 film The Bishop's Wife, which starred Loretta Young, David Nixon, and Cary Grant. Houston earned $10 million for the role, making her one of the highest paid actresses in Hollywood at the time and the highest earning African-American actresses in Hollywood. The movie, with its all African-American cast, was a moderate success, earning about $50 million at the U.S. box office. The movie gave Houston her strongest reviews so far. The San Francisco Chronicle said Houston is rather angelic herself, displaying divine talent for being virtuous and flirtatious at the same time. And she exudes gentle yet spiritual warmth, especially when praising the Lord in her gorgeous singing voice. Houston was again nominated for NAACP Image Award and won for Outstanding Actress in a Motion Picture. Houston recorded and co-produced with Melvin Warren the film's accompanying gospel soundtrack. The Preacher's Wife original soundtrack album included 6 gospel songs with Georgia Mass Choir that were recorded at the Great Star Rising Baptist Church in Atlanta. Houston also duetted with gospel legend Shirley Caesar. The album sold 6 million copies worldwide and recorded his singles with I Believe in You and Me, I love that song. And Step by Step, becoming the largest selling gospel album of all time. Wow. The album received mainly positive reviews. She won Favorite Adult Contemporary Artist at the 1997 American Music Awards for the Preacher's Wife soundtrack. In December 1996, a spokesperson for Houston confirmed that she suffered a miscarriage. In 1997, Houston produced company charged its name to Brown House Production was joined by Deborah Martin Chase. The goal was to show aspects of the lives of African Americans that have not been brought to the screen before, while proving how African Americans are portrayed in film and television. Their first project was a made-for-television remake of Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella. In addition to co-producing, Houston starred in the film as the fairy godmother along with Brandy. I knew Brandy was in that movie. Jason Alexander, Whoopi Goldberg, and Bernadette Peters. Houston was initially offered the role of Cinderella in 1993, but other projects intervened. The film is notable for its multiracial cast and non-stereotypical messages. All right, let me give a shout out to the people that checked in. Shout out to Big Rick Slaps. Lady E, what's going on? What's going on? What's good? What's good? What's good? You know what I mean? Salute to the family. Salute to the family. What's good? What's good? All right. Now, let's keep it going. Estimated 60 million viewers tuned in into the special given ABC its highest TV ratings in 60 years. The movie received 7 Emmy nominations, including Outstanding Variety Musical or Comedy, while winning an Outstanding Art Direction and a Variety Musical or Comedy Special. Houston and Chase then obtained the rights to the story of Dorothy Dandridge. Houston was to play Dandridge, the first African-American actress to be nominated for the Academy Award for Best Actress. Houston won the story told with dignity and honor. However, Halle Berry also had the rights to the project and got her version going first. Wow. Interesting. Later that year, okay, Houston paid tribute to her idols such as Aretha Franklin, Diana Ross, and Dionne Warwick by performing their hits during a 3-night HBO concert, Classic Whitney, live from Washington, D.C. The special raised over $300,000 for the Children's Defense Fund. Houston received the Quincy Jones Award for Outstanding Career Achievements in the Film Entertainment at the 12th Soul Train Music Awards. All right, so let's get into this. Is like we get into like the later years of her career. We almost done. All right, so now after spending much of the early and mid 1990s working on motion pictures and their soundtrack albums, Houston's first studio album in 8 years, the critically acclaimed My Love Is Your Love, was released in November 1998. Though originally slated to be a greatest hits album with a handful of new songs, recording session was so fruitful that a new full-length album was released. Recorded and mixed in only 6 weeks, it featured production from Rodney Jerkins, Wyclef Jean, and Missy Elliott. The album debuted at number 13, its peak position on the Billboard 200 charts. Had a funky, edgy sound that past releases and saw Houston handling urban dance, hip-hop, mid-tempo R&B, reggae, church songs, and ballads, all with great dexterity. From late 1998 to early 2000, the album spawned several hit singles, with including When You Believe, all right, I like that song, a duet with Mariah Carey from 1998's The Prince of Egypt soundtrack, which also became an international hit at the peak of the top 100 in several countries and won an Academy Award for Best Original Song. Heartbreak Hotel, that's another one of my jams, featured Faith Evans and Kelly Price, received a 1989 MTV VMA nomination for Best R&B Videos, and number 1 on the U.S. R&B chart for 7 weeks. It's not right, but it's okay. Won Houston her 6th Grammy Award for Best Female R&B Vocal Performance. My Love Is Your Love with 3 million copies sold worldwide, and I Learned From the Best. These singles became international hits as well, and all the singles except When You Believe became number 1 hits at the Billboard Hot Dance Club chart. The album sold 4 million copies in America, making it certified 4 times platinum, and a total of 11 million copies worldwide. Wally giving a shout out to everybody who just checked in. Thank you, Wally. Thank you, Wally. All right. The album gave Houston some of her strongest reviews ever. Rolling Stone said Houston was singing with a bite in her voice, and the Village Voice called it Whitney's sharpest and most satisfying so far. In 1999, Houston participated in VH1's Divas Live 99 alongside Brandy, Mary J. Blige, Tina Turner, and Cher. The same year, Houston hit the road with her 70-day My Love Is Your Love World Tour, while the European leg of the tour was Europe's highest-grossing arena tour. Shout out to Lady Phoenix. Hey, Lady Phoenix, good to see you. Good to see you. Know what I mean? M3 giving a shout out to Lady E. Okay. All right. Now, in November 1999, Houston was named top selling Okay, everybody giving their shout outs. Everybody giving their shout outs. I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you. In November 1999, Houston was named top selling R&B female artist of the century with certified U.S. sales of 51 million copies at the time. And the Bodyguard soundtrack was named the top selling soundtrack album of the century by Recording Industry Association of America, RIAA. She also won the Artist of the Decade Female Award for extraordinary music, artistic contribution during the 1990s at the 14th Soul Train Music Awards and the MTV Europe Music Award for Best R&B album. Okay. In May 2000, Whitney, the greatest hits, was released worldwide. The double disc set peaked at number 5 in the United States, reaching number 1 in the United Kingdom. In addition, the album reached the top 10 in many other countries. While ballad songs were left unchanged, the album features house club remixes of many of Houston's up-tempo hits, including the album with 4 new songs. Can I Have This Kiss Forever? A duet with Enrique Iglesias. Hey, man, I'm a huge Enrique Iglesias fan, all right? Don't judge me, y'all. I like some of his songs. Can I be your hero, baby? All right, let me stop. Same script, different cast, a duet with Deborah Cox. If I Told You That, a duet with George Michael, and Fine. The 3 hits that had never appeared on Houston's album. Okay? One Moment in Time, the Star Spangled Banner, and if you say My Eyes Are Beautiful, a duet with Jermaine Jackson from a 1986 Precious Moments album. I like that song with her and Jermaine Jackson. If You Say My Eyes Are Beautiful, that's my jam. Along with the album, an accompanying VHS and DVD was released featuring music videos to Houston's greatest hits, as well as several hard-to-find live performances, including her 1983 debut on The Merv Griffin Show and interviews. The greatest hits album was certified 5 times platinum in the U.S. for worldwide sales of 10 million. All right, so now we winding it down, y'all, okay? We get to the end, all right, y'all? You know what I mean? Man, this is a long one. Whew. Whitney Houston did a lot, y'all. All right, let's get it. So everybody giving their shout-outs. You know what I'm saying? Everybody giving their shout-outs. Everybody giving their shout-outs. Yeah. I see y'all. Yeah. All right. Though Houston was seen as a good girl with a perfect image in the 1980s and early 1990s, her behavior had changed by 1999 and 2000. All right. Yeah, she did, Lady Phoenix. She did. All right, Lady Phoenix, let them know. School them, you know what I mean? See, Lady Phoenix schooling y'all to who Whitney Houston really is. You feel me? All right, thank you, Lady Phoenix. Thank you. I appreciate you. She was often hours late for interviews, photo shoots, and rehearsals. She canceled concerts and talk shows appearances, and there was reports of erratic behavior. Missed performances and weight loss led to rumors about Houston using drugs with her husband. Excuse me, y'all. All right, hold on. On January 11, 2000, while traveling with Brown, airport security guards discovered half an ounce of marijuana in Houston's handbag at Keola International Airport in Hawaii, but she departed before authorities could arrive. Man. Charges against her were later dropped, but rumors of drug use by Houston and Brown would continue to surface. 2 months later, Clive Davis was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Houston had been scheduled to perform at the event, but was a no-show. Man. Shortly thereafter, Houston was scheduled to perform at the Academy Awards, but was fired from the event by musical director and longtime friend Burt Bacharach. Wow, man. Burt Bacharach just transcended too, man. Salute to him. The publisher cited throat problems as the reason for the cancellation. In his book, The Big Show, High Times and Dirty Dealings Backstage at the Academy Awards, author Steve Palm reveals that Houston's voice was shaky. She seemed distracted and jittery, and her attitude was casual, almost defiant. Though she was supposed to perform Over the Rainbow, she was singing a different song during the rehearsals. Houston later admitted she had been fired. Wow. In May 2000, Houston's longtime executive assistant and friend Robert Crawford resigned from Houston's managing company. In 2019, Crawford said she had left after Houston declined to seek help for drug dependency. The following month, Rolling Stone published a story saying that C. Houston and others had held a July 1999 intervention in which they unsuccessfully attempted to persuade Whitney to obtain drug treatment. Wow, this was in 99. Man, she lasted a long time, man. If this happened in 99, she transcended in 2012. That's a long time. All right, that's a long time, man. That's a long time. All right. In August 2001, Houston signed one of the biggest record deals in music history with Arista BMG. She renewed her contract for $100 million to release 6 new albums, for which she will also earn royalties. She later made an appearance on Michael Jackson's 30th anniversary special, her extremely thin frame further spurred rumors of drug use. Her publicist stated Whitney has been under stress due to family matters, and when she's under stress, she doesn't eat. In an 2009 interview with Oprah Winfrey, Houston acknowledged that drug use had been the reason for her weight loss. She canceled a second performance scheduled for the following night. Within weeks, Houston, in addition to Star Spangled Banner, was re-released after the September 11 attacks with the proceeds donated to the New York Fighter Fighters 9/11 Disaster Relief Fund and the New York Fraternal Order Police, and reached number 6 on the U.S. Hot 100, topping its previous positions. Lady Phoenix on the check-in again. She said Shaka Khan, on the Jennifer Lester show, that she didn't like the talented Whitney Houston just singing places and go her into making performance on people's albums and singing on her own. I feel you. Okay, Lady Phoenix, okay. All right, so now in 2002, Houston became embroiled in a legal dispute with John Houston Enterprise. Although the company was started by a father to manage a career, it was actually run by company president Kevin Skinner. Skinner filed a breach of contract lawsuit and sued for $100 million, but lost, saying that Houston owed the company previous unpaid compensation for helping negotiate a $100 million contract with Arista Records and for sorting out legal matters. She said, crack is whack indeed. It sure is. Definitely. All right. Houston stated that her 81-year-old father had nothing to do with the lawsuit. Although Skinner tried to claim otherwise, John Houston never appeared in court. Houston's father later transcended in February of 2003. The lawsuit was dismissed on April 5, 2004, and Skinner was awarded nothing. Wow. Also in 2002, Houston gave an interview with Diane Sawyer to promote her then upcoming album. During the prime time show, she spoke about her drug use and marriage, among other topics. Addressing the first ongoing drug room, she said, first of all, let's get one thing straight. Crack is cheap. I make too much money to ever smoke crack. Let's get that straight, okay? We don't do crack. We don't do that. Crack is whack. Wow. And Lady Phoenix just said that. The crack is whack line was drawn from a mural that Keith Haring painted in 1986 in a handbook court at 128th Street and 2nd Avenue in Manhattan. Houston to have admitted to using alcohol, marijuana, cocaine, and pills. She also acknowledged that her mother had urged her to seek help regarding her drug use. She also denied having an eating disorder and that her very thin appearance was connected to drug use. She further stated that Bobby Brown had never hit her, but acknowledged that she had hit him. Wow. That's gangster right there. I ain't never heard nothing like that. All right. In December 2002, Houston released her 5th studio album, Just Whitney. The album included productions from then husband Bobby Brown as well as Missy Elliott and Babyface. It marked the first time that Houston did not produce with Clive Davis, as Davis had been released by top management at BMG. All right. Wally checking in from the other side. All right. Wolf Talk Productions. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to Wolf Talk Productions as well. Yes, sir. All right. Thank you, Wally. Appreciate you, bro. Okay. The album charted at number 9 on the Billboard 200 chart and had the highest first week sales of any album Houston ever released. Yeah, I know. At least she was honest, right? You know what I'm saying? The 4 singles released from the album did not fare well on the Billboard Hot 100, but became dance charts hits. Just Whitney was certified platinum in the United States and sold about 2 million worldwide. Let's keep it going. In late 2003, Houston released her first Christmas album, One Wish, the holiday album, with a collaboration of traditional holiday songs. Houston produced the album with Maven Warren and Gordon Chambers. A single titled One Wish for Christmas reached the top 20 on the adult contemporary chart, and the album was certified gold in the U.S. In December 2003, Brown was charged with battery for an altercation during which she threatened to beat Houston and then assaulted her. Police report that Houston had visible injuries to her face. Wow. That's crazy. Having always been a touring artist, Houston spent most of 2004 touring and performing in Europe, the Middle East, Asia, and Russia. In September 2004, she gave a surprise performance at the World Music Awards in a tribute to longtime friend Clive Davis. After the show, Davis and Houston announced plans to go into the studio to work on her new album. Excuse me, y'all. In early 2004, Brown starred in his own reality TV show, Being Bobby Brown on Bravo. I remember that show. I'm being Bobby Brown. I remember that show. That show was a hot mess. Oh, man. The show provided a view of the domestic going-ons in the Brown household. Houston was a prominent figure throughout the show, received as much screen time as Brown. The series aired in '05 and featured Houston in unflattering moments. Years later, The Guardian opined that through her participation in the show, Houston had lost the last remnants of her dignity. The Hollywood Reporter said that the show was undoubtedly the most disgusting and execrable series ever to ooze its way onto television. Wow. Despite the perceived train wreck nature of the show, the series gave Bravo its highest ratings in its time slot and continued Houston's successful forays into film and television. Hey, that show was entertaining, all right? Look, that show was entertaining. All right, the show was not renewed for a second season after Houston said that she will no longer appear in it, and Brown and Bravo cannot come to an agreement for another season. All right, so Daryl Long, good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Salute, 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 salute. All right, return and I'll look to you out. Okay, that's when she returned. Houston gave her first interview in 7 years in September '09, appearing on Oprah Winfrey's season premiere. The interview was billed as the most anticipated music interview of the decade. Houston admitted on the show to having used drugs with Brown during their marriage. She said Brown had laced marijuana with rock cocaine. Whoa. Okay, Lady Phoenix on the check it again. She said, "Oh Lord, I'll subscribe to knowledge and relationships, but not here. I fought you for that 84. Subscribe now." That's all good, Lady Phoenix. I ain't tripping over that. Glad you're here. Houston told Winfrey that she had attended a 30-day rehabilitation program. Houston also not so, but her drug use had continued after rehabilitation, and that at one point, her mother obtained a court order and the assistance of law enforcement to pressure into receiving further drug treatment. In her 2013 book, Remember Whitney, My Story of Love, Loss, and the Night the Music Stopped, Sis Houston described the scene she encountered at Houston's house in '05 as follows. Somebody had spray painted the walls and door with big glaring eyes and strange faces, evil eyes, staring out like a threat. In another room, there was a big frame photo of Whitney, but someone had cut her head off. It was beyond discernment. See my daughter's face cut out like that. The visit led Sissy to return with law enforcement and perform an intervention. Houston told Winfrey that Brown had been emotionally abusive during their marriage and even spat on her on one occasion. Good grief. Man, wow. When Winfrey asked Houston if she was drug-free, Houston responded, "Yes, ma'am. I mean, don't think I don't have desires for it." Houston released her new album, I Look to You, on August 9. The album's first two singles were the title track, I Look to You, and $1 Million Baby. $1 Million Baby is my jam. All right, $1 Million Bill, I'm sorry. That's my jam, though. That's my jam. I know $1 Million Bill is $1 Million Bill, but whatever, it's my jam. I Look to You is cool, too. That's a cool song. The album entered the Billboard 200 #1, with Houston's best opening week sales of 305,000 copies. Marking Houston's first #1 album since The Bodyguard, and Houston's first studio album to reach #1 since 1987's Whitney. Houston also appeared on European television programs to promote the album. She performed the song I Look to You on the German television show Wetten Das. Lady Phoenix says, "Oh my, it's sad. Sometimes being single is cool. I couldn't go through that." Yeah, that's wild, Lady Phoenix. That's wild. Houston appeared as a guest mentor on the X Factor United Kingdom. She performed $1 Million Bill on the following day's result show, completing the song even as a strap in the back of her dress popped open 2 seconds into the performance. She later committed that she sang herself out of her clothes. The performance was reportedly received by the British media and was described as weird and ungracious. Despite this reception, $1 Million Bill jumped to its peak from 14 to number 5. Her first UK top 5 for over a decade. 3 weeks after its release, I Look to You went gold. Houston appeared on the Italian version of the X Factor, where she performed $1 Million Bill to excellent reviews. In November, Houston performed I Don't Know My Own Strength at the '09 American Music Awards in Los Angeles, California. 2 days later, Houston performed $1 Million Bill and I Want Dance with Somebody Who Loves Me on Dancing with the Stars season 9 finale. Houston later embarked on a world tour entitled the Nothing But Love World Tour. It was her first world tour in over 10 years and was announced as a triumphant comeback. However, some poor reviews and rescheduled concerts brought negative media attention. Houston canceled some concerts because of illness and received widespread negative reviews from fans who were disappointed in the quality of her voice and performance. Some fans reportedly walked out of her concerts. In January 2010, Houston was nominated for 2 NAACP Image Awards, one for Best Female Artist and one for Best Music Video. She won an award for Best Music Video for her single, I Look to You. On January 16th, she received the BET Honors Award for entertaining, citing her lifetime achievements spanning over 25 years in the industry. Houston also performed the song "I Look to You" on 2011 BET Celebration of Gospel, where gospel jazz singer Kim Burrell held at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. The performance aired on January 30th, 2011. In May 2011, Houston enrolled in a rehabilitation center again, citing drug and alcohol problems. The representative for Houston said that the outpatient treatment was part of Houston's long-standing recovery process. In September 2011, the Hollywood Reporter announced that Houston will produce a story alongside Jordan Sparks and Mike Epps in a remake of 1976 film Sparkle. In the film, Houston portrays Sparks' not-so-encouraging mother. Houston is also credited as an executive producer of the film. Deborah Marchese, producer of Sparkle, said that Houston deserved the title considering she had been there from the beginning in 2001. When Houston obtained Sparkle production rights, R&B singer Aaliyah, salute to Aaliyah, rest in paradise Aaliyah, originally taped to star as Sparkle, transcended in a 2001 plane crash. Her death derailed production, which would have begun in 2002. Wow. So Aaliyah would have been a Sparkle. When Houston died, would have been the bomb. Oh, man. Houston remake of Sparkle was filmed in late 2011, over 2 months, and was released by TriStar on May 21st, 2012. She said, "I loved her last album, but her voice wasn't the same." Yeah, I know, lady. Yeah, I know. Okay. The last song Houston recorded with Sparks premiered at RyanCrest.com. It was made available for digital release on iTunes on June 5th. The song was featured on the Sparkle music for the motion picture soundtrack as the first official single. The movie was released on August 17th, 2012 in the United States. Wow. Lady Phoenix at 84. then her brother hit her in the throat with a coat hanger when she was little. Her mama's voice is phenomenal. She sang background for Ain't No Way. I don't know. I ain't never heard about that. Let me tell you something. I just know when Houston went through a lot with her family, I trying to, held up that good girl image and all that. And also, trying to maintain a music career. And then, she had to marry to Bobby Brown. All her run-ins with the music industry and Clive Davis and, having a contract with him and, and, being in the spotlight for Erisa and being the main feature artist of Erisa. She had a lot of pressure, man. When you had a lot of pressure, a lot of things on her back. You know what I'm saying? She was trying to be the main feature artist on the label, and now she's in movies and she got a marriage and her family wants her to be. She had too much things on her, man. It really broke her down. She couldn't handle all that. No one person can handle all that. Look, most of us, right, we just work a regular job and try to do good things for our family, and that's a lot. So imagine you having to handle all those other things as well. She couldn't handle all that. It was too much. She had too much on her back, man. You know what I mean? But Whitney Houston is definitely a legend. She definitely is black as gold certified, all right? She definitely represents black as gold, you know what I'm saying? So if you got skeletons in the closet, they're definitely going to come out. Yeah. Then that'd be another voice as powerful as Miss Houston. Gold. Yeah, she definitely is. Let me tell you something, all right? Whitney Houston is the greatest female singer of all time. Maybe the greatest singer of all time. But as far as females are concerned, it's not even close, okay? I'm not even having this debate, all right? My top 5 include Whitney Houston is number 1, without a shadow of a doubt, okay? Listen, if you think there's anybody better than Whitney Houston, there's only 2 people that I would even consider to be in her league. You know what I mean? And that's Aretha Franklin, who's number 2 on my list, and Mariah Carey, who's number 3. All right? I don't really have a 4 and 5. You know what I mean? 4 and 5 is kind of who I like and don't like. I can't really rank them. You can throw Barbra Streisand in there if you want, or you can throw Celine Dion in there if you want. There's a lot of great voices in women, right? Some people put Chaka Khan up there, or Minnie Riperton, or Phyllis Hyman, or you know what I'm saying? The list goes on and on, man. Who else? I'm trying to think of her name. Dude on The Bodyguard had a crush on her during the movie. Where I cannot remember his name. Kevin Costner. That was his name, Kevin Costner. What's the lady name? Gladys Knight, Patti LaBelle. There's so many people you could throw up there, right? But those are my top 3, okay? Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, Mariah Carey. And you can kind of put them. It ain't no wrong answer in that one to me. But if you're gonna ask me who's number one, it's Whitney Houston without a shadow of a doubt. Not even close. All right, like I said, Aretha's right there. All right, Aretha is right there. Some people say Aretha is the greatest. Okay, and maybe if I had grown up in her time, I probably would say the same thing. But I didn't grow up in that time, so I never really heard Aretha. I've only heard recordings and I've heard different songs that I like. You know what I'm saying? I know that Beyonce remixed one of her songs, that Freedom song, Freedom, that song. Beyonce remixed it. I like the Aretha Franklin version better because Aretha has more range than Beyonce and she sounds better than Beyonce. So some people put Beyonce up there, right? No shade to Beyonce. Beyonce, I definitely think as far as maybe like, I would say as far as like record sales and things of that nature, you got to put Beyonce top 5. It's only right. Maybe I'll say top 3 if you want to say as far as record sales and success. Beyonce is definitely top 3. Okay. Rihanna is definitely in the top 3 as far as success and things of that nature. She's a billionaire, right? But if you're asking about talent, right? If you want to be honest, I'll say Beyonce's 4, Rihanna's 5. How about that? You know what I mean? And then like I said, you could put Gladys Knight there, you can put whoever you want there. But my top 3, like I said, my top 3 are Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, and Mariah Carey. Okay, we could argue about the other 2 ladies. You can kind of, like I said, you can put Rihanna, Beyonce, whoever else you want to put there, Dolly Parton. I mean, whoever else you want to put there. Okay, I'm going to different genres or whatever. Whoever else you want to put there, you can. She got Ariana Grande up here in one of the comments. Look, whoever else I want to put. Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera. Look, I don't know, but my top 3 are those women, okay? Those are my top 3, okay? I don't really have a Mount Rushmore. I don't have 4. I have 3. But if you force me to do a 4th, if you honestly force me to do a 4th, honestly, I would probably maybe put Beyonce. But really, if you really ask me, now that I'm thinking about it, I'll put Diana Ross up there. All right, my top 4, my Mount Rushmore, if you wanted one, would be Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, Mariah Carey, Diana Ross. That's my Mount Rushmore. Anybody else can pick what they want. All right, it is what it is. Let me get to these comments. So, Lady E said, Ariana Grande is the only person of this generation that may have a chance to be one of the greatest in the future. Yes, she does. She has great range. I've heard her sing. She's very, very talented. She said, M is hustling. Yeah. Lady Phoenix said, Whitney Houston is just her own woman. Speaking of women, she did a hell of a job on I'm Every Woman. Yes, she did. You know, I have a friend of mine. One of my brothers loves that song. I don't know why. Okay, but he says he sings it. He sings the all the verses, and yeah, I don't know, kind of weird to me, but it ain't my cup of tea. I'm not a woman, so I'm not really into women's anthems. That's too much of y'all stuff. Like, you know, that's like kind of going into y'all range of things. Like, I ain't really, you know, it's not really my cup of tea, but I respect it. It's a really great song, but it's not my cup of tea. I don't listen to stuff like that. Now, my woman, she probably listens to something like that, but me, I'm cool. She said Rihanna's an entertainer, not a vocalist. Well, like, whatever. You can pick whatever you want, lady. I'm saying whatever you want to pick is whatever you want to pick. So he agreed on Rihanna. Yeah, I mean, y'all can pick whatever y'all want to pick. Somebody need to put her in the top 5, right? I mean, she is a billionaire. She does have a lot of success. She has a lot of great music that has been produced and that she's done. She performed at the Super Bowl. You can't perform at the Super Bowl if you don't got hits, right? We all know this. So, with that being said, Rihanna's definitely up there, all right? You know what I mean? You can't deny the things she's done. Now, as far as to be an entertainer or vocalist, that's to be debated. Who knows? Who cares? I don't really want to debate that, and I'm not going to debate that. At the end of the day, I gave you my Mount Rushmore, okay? I told you who my top 4 was. And y'all top 4 can be different, right? Y'all may have Whitney Houston number 2. Who knows, right? I think you're crazy, but who knows? Whitney Houston, to me, is number 1, all right? She definitely is black as gold. She definitely embodies that. Salute to Whitney Houston, all right? As always, as our sister the Heavenly Strange QB says, be intentional. I'm being intentional today. I'm not worrying, getting my laundry done, and getting some Italian food. That's what I'm being intentional about. You know what I'm saying? Ah, boy. As always, y'all, this is Black as Gold, episode 23, Whitney Houston. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what time this is, man. Salute to everybody who checked in. Salute to everybody who's supporting the podcast. I appreciate all of you. Love you guys. Much love. Peace. Let me find that outro, man.
DJ.